Cheers, everybody. So, how's everybody doing? Welcome to today's episode of H1Z1 Dead Feature Rant. Today we've got Kremchek over here on screen left, and of course I am Legendary Neurotoxin, coming at you as I am every single week here. And the right window is empty. Now people might be like, hey, wait a minute, didn't this happen last week too? And it turns out we had a little miscommunication. So actually we are going to be having Steve George and Tom Shank, I believe, is also going to be joining later on towards the about 5 o'clock or so. But before that awesome feature will be happening on this channel, we have something to discuss here. Chris Roberts. So, Chris Roberts, he is basically the game design vehicle specialist at SOE. I don't remember what else he's worked on. I would have to look up his, his profile somewhere or another. But I believe he worked on the PlanetSide 2 team, if I'm not mistaken. So, he's already, if I'm not mistaken, had pretty good experience with the vehicle mechanics and the systems that are built into the game. And that's great because, he's going to be the one fine-tuning everything. So, pretty cool. I'm excited to see what kind of stuff that he'll be able to pull off. I got to drive the current vehicle that we have, the Jeep kind of thing. And
oh, did you?
Yeah, I've gotten to, I drove it back at, let's see, the event back in whatever it was, the big live stream that they had to kind of announce it.
Oh, nice.
Then
is this the same Chris Roberts that made Wing Commander? That can't be the same guy.
It might be.
No, because he's making
what
he's
kind
making
of
Star Citizen
which
now.
Chris Roberts are you talking about? This is KRIS. Chris Roberts.
Yeah, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, you got the wrong Chris
Never mind.
Roberts.
Carry on.
Yeah. Yeah, John M81, my follower sound is the Wilhelm scream. That is most definitely what you heard. But instead of having
Wait,
it
you mean
piping,
someone screamed?
Yeah. Yeah, no, but instead of it going through the normal headphone channel so it blasts in my ears, I have it going through my outbound speakers so it sounds more like an echo. It's kind of fun.
Kind of creepy.
Kind of creepy. But it's always going to be the Wilhelm scream because that is the best follower sound. For me. Anyway. So, the next vehicle that's going to be worked on is that pickup truck that we saw in the video. And that looks like fun. That's definitely going to be able to ram through a lot of things and haul a lot of random crap. Definitely going to be a pretty useful vehicle to have. Of course, I don't know how many people you can actually seat, if it's going to be a two-seater thing or if it's two in the front and as many as the physics engine will allow you to pack in the back.
I think it has to be that.
Yeah, I don't know. In PlanetSide 2, they have the rumble seats. So if you wanted to have somebody on your harasser or your flash riding along with you, it was a rear-facing seat that people could shoot you and hit you instead of hitting the vehicle. I don't know how things work with H1Z1 in the vehicles, if they will fully protect you from bullets or if they're going to diverge from PlanetSide 2 and you can be hit with a firearm through the glass.
I would assume that you could be hit with a firearm through the glass. Because from what they're doing so far, it seems like everything, they want everything to be as true to life as possible. How they're saying that, right now, when early access comes out, you may all cars might blow up, but at some point, they're not going to all blow up. If they turn over, you might be able to turn it back over or something like that. It
And we'll
seems like
get to
they're
that
trying to go
part.
as true to possible. Yeah. Sorry. Skipping ahead.
It's all good. It's all good.
But yes, I think bullets will go through glass. That's my point. I think they
So,
will.
well, it'll probably at least provide a little bit more protection than just kind of sitting in the back seat. I think they might do like a rumble seat sort of system for the trucks where you'll have to have actual seats mounted in the back of it for folks to be able to, ride along in the back and be able to fire out of it or whatever.
That could
Maybe
be.
even be able to mount machine guns and stuff on it later on would be a fun sort of thing.
Oh, that would be fun. What they did in Grand Theft Auto is they just had like you could jump in the back. I think 4 people could fit in the back, and you would just like kneel down, so that could be something that they do as well.
Yeah. Or I guess another thing would be, how there's those trucks that have the kind of the wood, not lattice, but the kind of the wood cross beams that hold whatever crates or whatever produce it is in.
Hmm.
I think Orcs and Warhammer 40K had a similar truck like that. You just kind of pack everyone in the back and you stick your guns out, but I could see something like that being a modification. I don't know if it would
Yeah.
be the pickup truck or if that would be more of a larger modified flatbed sort of thing.
Right.
That could be a fun, like almost that would almost be a roving fortress at that point. Get a couple of those, then Shaker's
Yeah.
Mack truck in the front, and then you're set.
Right.
Yeah, good stuff. I'm excited for the trucks. Then the other vehicle that he mentioned was bicycles. Bicycles. That's the bow and arrow of vehicles right there.
Yes. I'm excited for bicycles. That's going to be my vehicle.
Yeah, stealth play. That's where it's gonna be at. Someone say convoy. Hell yes, Cycles McCurt. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Tom Shank up in the house. The prison shank. You'll get stabbed with the prison shank. That's actually his name in H1Z1. He uses his prison shank. It's awesome.
Nice.
That's actually a good question, Cyclops Johnson. Vehicle acquisition is going to be a very interesting thing. I highly doubt it's something that we will have the ability to build until maybe years down the road, but it's more going to be a matter of finding the ones that exist in the world, either ones that may be, stuck and abandoned in an intersection, or you might find them in a garage somewhere. That could definitely be a place in some fancy mansion that got, evacuated at some point. I could see a big parking garage sort of thing, or one of those big parking structures as multi-level sort of things. It's going to be dangerous as all get out. You're going to have plenty of zombies probably lurking and spawning in there anytime, left alone for a while. But at the same time, that seems like if anywhere, a parking garage is where you'd probably be able to find a working vehicle. So
If you're going to be able to find a
yeah,
working
if you're going to be
vehicle.
able to find one. But I think the idea is that they're going to be rare, but they're not going to be impossible to find and impossible to come across.
Yeah, definitely. I think that we're going to be able to find uh, different vehicles in different stages of disrepair, and some might be working, some might have absolutely no parts, some that might be rusted out so far that you can't drive them even if you did
Yeah.
find the parts. And I would expect that nothing will be working. And I'm just saying that because what did they decide on? 5 years or 5 months or something like that?
Weeks to months since
Yeah, yeah.
the outbreak of the zombie apocalypse, but that's
Right.
some amount of terror and chaos had built up to the point where I guess it had actually been the zombie apocalypse. So it's not like all of a sudden one day it happened. I think it might have been something
Right.
that you know
Happen
28
over
days
time.
or whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah, that being said, I think that that's plenty of time for at least most of the vehicles to be ransacked. I don't think it's enough time for vehicles to rust out by any means, um,
Yeah.
although some probably will. But I think that most of the vehicles will be ransacked. People will be trying to disable vehicles because, they're gonna put them in
Okay,
bait, things like
I
that.
just thought of the most hilarious thing. Dismantling a vehicle so that way you can get the cement blocks that it's being supported on because the last owners left it on cement blocks and you need those for your construction project.
That's pretty good.
I think that'd be a very interesting, crafty way to have to get the blocks like that. I think it'd be pretty funny.
That's pretty good, yeah. And I think that
Mm,
another cool thing to do, I was just kind of touch on
mm,
at the last part of what I was saying, is that
mm.
we're thinking about survival here. So basically, a part of survival is bringing people to you without them knowing that you're there. So you can kill them and you will survive and they won't, because if you're not sneaking up on them, they're sneaking up on you, right? So you leave a vehicle out that appears to be running or maybe needs something, they come to check it out, you shoot them. So basically, just kind of setting your vehicle out in in front of your compound or in front of something that you've taken for yourself, and boarded up, and then just picking people off that come try to get it.
Yep,
Might be fun.
definitely. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities for stuff. I'm sure there's going to be like every part of the car is going to be useful for some sort of crafting.
Something.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, either we can have a car that works, or we can have these fancy landmines.
Right.
Because the spark plugs are kind of going to be needed for that.
Right. Right.
Gas isn't stable. It degrades over a period of months till it's no longer usable. I didn't know that. I mean, is it like it oxidizes or something, or does it like something separate? Or I have no idea.
I mean, I put gas in a car, and I don't drive much, except for on vacations and such. So I've filled up my vehicle and didn't have to fill up for 2 months, and everything was fine.
Um. Oh, it's a separation. I gotcha. Well, then shake it. Um. So, oh, and by the way, I think you're getting it mistaken there. A car from some sheet metal, a couple rubber bands, and a tire or two. That almost sounds more like the A-Team. Like they seem like they work more with sheet metal, honestly. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe both of them.
Yeah, MacGyver would be like a pile of toothpicks or something.
Gas stabilizer. Good to know. All right. So, speaking of vehicles, will vehicles explode when they're upside down? Now, that's the current mechanic in PlanetSide 2. The vehicle's upside down. It takes damage, it takes damage, it takes damage until it eventually goes boom. And it's fine in PlanetSide 2 for, I guess, some reason. I don't know. I'd actually almost rather have a vehicle that's got like treads on the top and the bottom so I don't have to worry about that stuff. Or just a magic orb that just kind of rolls everywhere. But anyway, I think it'll be nice when we do have the feature that they don't explode, because it sounds like it's just to make them explode so that way they'll go away, they'll be out of the area or whatever, they'll be able to be replenished somewhere else in the world. That
Right.
a new
They'll
vehicle
respawn.
is allowed to be spawned somewhere. But you know, I really think it's much better if you actually have to flip over a turtle vehicle. I think that's it's one of those things where one person does something stupid and it takes a bunch of people to remedy it. But at the same time, if you can bring a bunch of people to remedy it, congrats, you've just got yourself a new vehicle because
Right.
some dumb stupid moron just flipped it and left it there, and
While they
yeah.
were alone, yeah, so
Yeah.
they didn't have the resources to get it back over.
Yeah, and then when they got out to try to do something about it, they just made a bunch of noise. They get jumped by a bunch of wolves and bears and zombies and more bears and more wolves and more zombies. Mostly zombies, though. They're pretty much like dead as soon as they get out of the vehicle, I think.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an important mechanic to be able to flip back over your car. But it shouldn't be something that. So there's a couple mechanics that are already in games now that I don't feel like should be in H1Z1, and that's the ability to just be in your car and like rock it back and forth until it's back on its feet or back on its wheels. That shouldn't be something. It should be a number of people actually pushing it from the outside to roll it back over.
Yeah.
Which will be a lot of noise, and you'll have to have a number of people doing it because the vehicle's heavy, and also probably one or two people, if not more, watching out for wolves and zombies and bears and all that.
It might be nice to have a couple of big rocks or barrels or something you can roll over, and use a couple of planks or something to help give you some leverage too.
Yeah,
be able to lower
exactly.
the amount of people you need, but it would use
Right.
a little bit more resources. Not going to expend the resources, just and
Just use
might
it.
take. I'm sure it would consume a lot of stamina to flip a car over as well. So. Do
Right.
something where you just ran over the car and then you all start pushing it. You're just like, we're not gonna be able to push this damn thing. Hold on a second. I'm gonna puke.
Yeah.
Because when you're winded and then you start to try to do more difficult things, you're just gonna puke. You're just gonna get gassed.
And wouldn't it be terrible if you were some amazing survivalist and you're doing really well and you have your compound set up and blah blah blah, and you're just taking a drive and you looked away for a second and you drive up a fence and flip it over and
Yep.
explode and die.
That's gonna be funny. Alright, so I saw a couple of things in chat here that I want to address. We have to get a bunch of bling for Cycles McHurts so he can do a Mr. T picture at some point. Or maybe just give a picture to Andre and crew and have them do something. Pyromaniac. PlanetSide 2 works. H1Z1 also works. PlanetSide 2. Yeah, PlanetSide 2, if you can run it, you'll probably be able to run H1Z1 just fine. Is there a ranching aspect of the game? Soft farming recently. Is there derived crude oil from manure from cow or pigs? That would be great, Cyclops Johnson. We're going to be able to make the biodiesel, like people have been saying. Corn you've been able to do for biodiesel. I'm sure you'll be able to do wheat for biodiesel. And potatoes, I could see, biodiesel. Rice is a little bit weird, but that can be fermented. Biodiesel. Yeah. Booze.
Booze.
Cheers, folks.
If any of you idiots use your booze for anything but drinking, then I don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
Wait, why are you going to be drinking? There's going to be so much swizzle around. You're not going to drink anything.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But what happens if you mix your swizzle with your booze? Maybe something different.
Mr. Cycles McHurts, you're going to have to let us know about that one.
Maybe you just die instantly.
No, I think... okay, no, you use both of those when you're in the highest level of H1Z1 zombie infection status, and you just turn into a rampaging zombie, and that's it. Like,
There you go.
game over for you. You just get to watch in observer mode as your character just rampages around.
They eat faces.
Don't mix the streams. So it will run faster. Yeah.
You see pink elephant-y zombies.
elephant zombies.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then you eat their faces.
Yeah.
I don't know if this show has the same effect on anybody else, but this show makes me so excited to play H1Z1 every time that I am on it or see it.
Well, how long did you get to play it at SOE Live?
Total, I probably played it for like 5 or 6 hours.
Nice. So you got a good
Just because
session
I
in.
kept going. Yeah, I just kept going back to it. That's the only thing I played while I was there.
Yeah. And it's the thing that kind of comes up almost every episode is the argument that while we would love to play H1Z1 in its current state, for what we've seen of it, we understand that the complete vertical slice of gameplay expected for early access doesn't just mean the features that we get to see in normal gameplay, but it also includes all of the network features and security and deployment and such, and that's that's a huge old basket of its own. That's just lovely. Yeah. It's just dandy. So that's, I think, one of the biggest things that wherever everything else is at in the process, that's one of the major things that is constantly being updated and worked on and refined. So that way, when the game does go out, there aren't any issues with it. There's no, admin cheat leaks or whatever, or all the security features are in place. So if somebody's cheating, it'll be detected immediately. All that fun stuff. I'm really excited to see what the Forge Light engine with AI on a large scale is going to look like, because we're going to see AI in Landmark pretty soon. With the the Storybrick stuff is going to be coming hopefully in the next month or so, but it's mostly going to be static mobs and kind of floaty mobs. We're not really going to be seeing the power of the pathing systems that SOE has been able to make. The last, I guess, DCUO is the last time that SOE had to make a pathing system for mobs. So this will be, I guess, really exciting to see what's been learned since. Damn, when was that made? Like 2008 or something?
Yeah, well, somewhere around there.
I've got the box around here somewhere. So that, this is going to be like a real test of what's SOE learned after all these years with AI pathing.
Yeah. And we'll see. We'll not to get too off topic, but we'll definitely see where it's going for all of the games in the future once we start to see just dip our toes in the AI pool. We'll start to see the real power of what they're going to be able to do, hopefully.
Yep. I'm excited. Can't wait. I'm not even sure if I'm more excited for open beta for Landmark or early access for H1Z1 at this point. I think I'm actually more excited for H1Z1 at this point. It's
I know. Me too.
It's going to be so much fun. Everybody's gonna be playing the hell out of it too, so it'll be nice and dense with people to stick in the head with an arrow.
Yes, and I think the first day I'm gonna do a nice 24-hour stream of it. That'll be epic.
TM Lawless, I don't know if it's going into early access, but I really hope we get SOE mode, because like I said, using combinations of gestures that people can see in the distance, that's just so awesome. Like that's a really good way to be able to tell who's who, especially if you're doing something where it's too many people to have everybody in one, TeamSpeak channel or whatever.
Right. But you're going to have your voiceover stuff or your voice stuff in game, so maybe that's how we'll do it. You have to be able to distinguish voices and outfits and stuff like that. SOE emote.
Yeah, not at the start of early access. But no, that's fine. I didn't expect it to be in at early access.
No.
That's a huge feature. That's a lot to put in, and I would imagine they would want to get at least a few more of the character models actually rigged and put in the game first before the playable models, before they actually go through the task of getting SOE emote fully functional. Just because it would be that much extra work to do it once for this character and then do the entire process again for the next character and then do the entire process again for the next character. Much better to, be able to streamline the process and kind of do it all on one fell
Right.
swoop.
Now, I don't have a lot of experience with that sweep mode actually. Is it going to be more than just facial recognition? Are you gonna
I think
put
it's
your
upper
hands up
body.
and so you put your hands up and your character puts your hands up?
I believe so. Now that's going to be weird for gameplay because, if somebody's
Take your
talking
fingers.
like this and then, someone pulls a knife, it's like, oh crap.
Right. Right.
Or, I guess actually in that situation, oh shit.
Exactly.
Why not?
It's like I'm putting my hands up and I'm stepping away from the keyboard, like
yeah.
it's like, and then he just comes up and shanks me. It's like, oh, okay, well, that was a dumb move. I guess I'll have to learn the button that is the hands up.
If
Which I
people
actually never
surround
learned
me
while I
and
was-
start
while I was
demanding
there.
that I do things and I'm just not feeling like it, I'm just going to kind of run at them with one hand, go bang, 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 and then try to swing at them with whatever weapon I pulled out. And I'm not going to last that long, but, it'll make them
Yeah.
laugh a little bit.
While I was playing, basically, I was just everybody was kill on sight, and I would just sit there and do anything I could to kill somebody. And I think my best was I killed like 8 people in a row before I ended up dying,
Hell
which was
yeah.
fun.
8
But,
players?
8 players, yeah.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
I got 3.
Were you the
while
one who was
hiding out.
shouting out kills? Or I know somebody was shouting out when they were getting kills on people.
I wasn't. What I was doing, I was like cheering. I was like, "Yeah, what's up now?"
Okay.
Kind of stuff like that. So, because I knew that everyone was around me that was playing it, so I wanted
Yeah,
to let them know.
usually for me, I'll shout out when I'm doing tournaments and stuff in the past. So and so just got owned. Stuff like that. And I'd imagine they can't really hear me because they're wearing a headset and the game volume's up
Right.
anyway. But if they do hear it, or if anybody else is around and they hear it, it's like, oh, I know what just happened.
Right.
So we got a question here from John M81. Have they mentioned if they are going to put in new models for the player? I think we're just getting a white dude at the beginning, but we're going to be getting all the scope and scale of variation, different body types, male and female. Pretty sure we're not getting children. Neither playable nor likely as an NPC, but who knows? But I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to get a lot of variation once they put the time and effort into that. For right now, for just a vertical slice of gameplay, you only need one character. You don't need 2, 3, 5, 8, 10, 12, 20 variations or whatever. Plus, you can, put them in different outfits and such anyway, so doesn't really matter when you're wearing body armor and a helmet.
I feel like they've said that there's not going to be much customization at all. Am I right there?
The customization for characters, it's probably going to be
characters, yeah.
fairly similar to PlanetSide 2, where you pick a body and you pick a face and that's
Right.
it, and maybe a skin tone. Yeah, so
Which is fine. Like
We
you
got-
said, you're going to be picking all your different outfits and such, and
yeah, and somebody's asking
you're close
here,
enough to
will
see
there be
someone's face.
police and
Probably not.
military uniforms? Yes, most likely.
Yeah.
Maybe not at the start, maybe not at early access, but there will most likely be both camo and uniform-looking clothes and such, as well as the actual body armor to back it up. So,
Right.
I'm sure we'll get it.
We have a
More design
clarification of his
options.
question.
I think John ME1. I think it's more the items you equip on the character because everything's going to be outward facing. I'm not sure if your 1, 2, and 3 slot items are also going to be kind of like on your back and on your belt and stuff like that. I think they are, but that would pretty much be what you're wearing is what people can see, plus or minus any other accessories and such that might be available. Zalman, that's right. I was at E3. I actually got a bunch of footage at E3 doing some donuts with the
Nice.
vehicle. unloading the single fire M16 or whatever on a bunch of slow zombies and a horde. Good times.
Rec MMO, they stated whether or not SOE mode will be coming to the game. I think it was said in
Yeah,
here
not
that
it's not going to
something
be
it
in
will
by
be.
early access, but I believe the plan is to eventually get it. And I hope you will eventually be able to bind like SOE mode reactions and actions that we've already done to different keys. Like instead of F2 being the cornholio, the F2 is me like doing that or something. I don't know.
So we have Cycles McCurd saying that these are just placeholder animations, and they are working on new motion capture. So that's good.
Gotcha. Not confirmed SOE mode, but we want SOE mode.
Have not confirmed it, but suggested that it's possible.
Yeah, you can find clothing in the world, and your character starts with clothing. There's both.
Yeah,
In fact,
definitely.
you can't be naked. No dongs in H1Z1. It's not that kind of game, folks.
So don't try. I'm sure that someone will do it somehow. But maybe it'll probably be like a Ken doll, so
Yeah.
it won't even be worth it.
So we've been definitely getting some questions here, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I kind of want to touch on a little bit more from the that video interview. So the third question was asking about if there's going to be different cars with different speed and acceleration, and he kind of showed the attributes, and really everything about the vehicles is adjustable. You know, if he wanted, he could add an extra set of wheels just arbitrarily in the front, floating in front of the vehicle. That's somehow keeping things up, and you know, whatever. Actually, I don't know if he could do that. He might be able to, but you know, once everything's all set up and in place, and they hand him the vehicle and say, "Okay, make it work," that's his job. That's what he does. He makes it fun. He makes it feel right. Um, and you know, does everything he can with it. Of course, I don't know, you know, he doesn't work on the code for the traction controls and such, so, or maybe he does, but you know, some vehicles in PlanetSide 2, like the Flash, for the longest time, and I haven't tried it recently, but you try to go uphill a little bit, you turn just a little, and you just kind of spin out going downhill. It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just got no traction, and just squirreliest vehicle ever. So you know, I'm hoping that you know some of the stuff's been refined a little bit more. It's also, I don't know if vehicles are going to actually be going the same speed and have the same kind of acceleration and attributes as the nanite mobiles of PlanetSide 2. So, but yeah, everything's going to have potentially different stats, different, you know, sports cars and family sedans, and you know, all sorts of things with, you know, different attributes. Like, yeah, you've got a Ferrari, that's nice. That thing's gonna burn through fuel like yeah, it's gonna go really quickly. Also, I don't know.
I kind of like that too, though, because it's gonna give you. It's just more choices.
Yeah.
It's a real choice that you have to make, because do you want the pickup truck that will plow through some zombies? Do you want the Ferrari that's going to get you out of Dodge really quick? Or do you want the you know, family sedan, or the SUV, or the larger, smallish vehicle that's going to, you know, be able to do a little bit of both?
The top
But
speed
none
in
of it will.
H1Z1. Yeah, I was gonna say 17.3 kph. That's pretty slow. I think
Pretty slow.
I think characters actually run faster than that. Just saying. That's yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, but it'll be interesting. And yeah, I'm sure there'll be different versions, variation. Now that's we'll get to that. It's, I think, in the fourth question where I really want to talk about cop trucks and various other sorts of things. Cop trucks. So yeah, it's nice. Everything's gonna have its own feel. It's gonna have its own style. That's gonna be really, really cool. There's gonna be, you know, I'm sure there'll be collectors out there that want one of every vehicle just to have them, just because they're somehow some sort of, you know, streamer, in-game billionaire sort of, you know. I'm sure if, you know, Co Carnage is like, now build me 100 garages and fill it with one of every vehicle, you know, his fans would go out and do it because he's got tons of fans and they're crazy. So,
Right.
you know, it would happen, and you know, if
It
you've
will
got a
happen.
vehicle that he wants, try to trade for it before it gets killed, or before you get killed and it gets taken from you.
Right.
So,
When a group of 60 people walk up on you to take your vehicle,
yeah.
pretty much out of luck.
So the depth of the repair system was asked about, and they said this is a new feature. It's a recent feature that they've put in. Spark plugs, fuel, battery, and motor are the four things that need to be in place and working in order to, you know, really be able to actually have it run. You don't need headlights and you don't need a turbo. Those are the other two parts. But it makes sense. Spark plugs, fuel, battery, motor. And like I was saying earlier, those all seem like parts that could be salvaged from a vehicle and used in
Mm-hmm.
various other sorts of crafting,
Mm-hmm.
making explosives or electronic devices or traps or you know, generators. So you know, these are parts that, you know, if you get held up and you get asked to get out of your vehicle, they might give you the vehicle back, but it's already been gutted when you get back in. So
Right.
that's definitely going to be an interesting sort of thing to see how people manage the vehicle resources versus using them for non-vehicle purposes.
Yeah, and it sounds like they are saying that there will be more things that go into a vehicle at some point, not just those base 4 to 6 things that you need for a vehicle. Is that what you got from it too?
So I'm sorry, say that again.
So it sounded like, if unless I was mistaken from the video, there will be more components that it takes to run a vehicle at some point. Like this is just the very
Well,
beginning,
this is
and more will go into a vehicle.
the only other thing I think that's going to go into it is potentially the condition of the frame,
Hmm.
and maybe the frame and the windows. Other than that, and you know, that's actually, this is something that I kind of wanted to talk about for a little bit. I think it's great to have these 6 things that we already have: the spark plugs, the fuel, the battery, and the motor, and those are essential things. And being able to even potentially
Right.
upgrade, putting a better motor in, being able to put a better battery in, better spark plugs, better fuel, things that will potentially improve the vehicle in various different ways, improve the
Hmm.
reliability of it, etc. Um, but then on top of that, and improving the headlights, and I have a feeling that they're going to sell headlights with custom decals, so we'll be able to have, you know,
Batman symbols.
Halloween, you know, jack o' lanterns or whatever, or I'm sure people would rock the PlanetSide 2 logos for their various factions. I know I
Yeah.
would. Shut up and take my money. I already worked in. That was the quickest $10 they got from me in Landmark, was the VS outfit.
Nice.
So we have Mr. Steve George here, Sony Shock. He is also here. So, um, but I'm thinking other customization. Oh, and the turbo's the other. But other customizations, I think there should actually be, whether it's just kind of modular hard points that we can add different things to, or you know, features that are specific to different vehicles, being able
Hmm.
to change out the, you know, what the frame is, being able to replace the doors from, you know, a door of a similar car that you found. You're able to just kind of pull it off and stick it on. You take a little while and take the right tools to do it, but simple maintenance. Replacing, you know, the hood and other sorts of stuff. Replacing the glass might be a little bit more difficult. I'm not sure. It seems like a more intensive process, and I think the vehicle
Yeah,
has to kind
for
of sit
sure.
for a little while to try to do that. Um, But beyond that, being able to do aesthetic modifications, put decals on it and spray paint, being able to put, like the Mack truck with the cow catcher on the front, I think that's awesome. I'd love to be able to have those kind of modifications. I want people to be able to make their vehicles and their attire and everything look like straight up Road Warrior, Mad Max,
Oh yeah.
and that sort of stuff. Just everything salvaged, everything all gritty and grimy and such.
Add pieces of wood with barbed wire and spikes on the
Some of
on the
the
front bumper.
some of the armors and stuff they were wearing, some of the goons were wearing towards the end of Demolition Man. Some of those were also pretty to style for it too.
Yeah, definitely. So what you're saying is that you think that instead of adding more pieces to the vehicles that are needed for it to run, they're just, excuse me, going to add mod pieces to it
I think mod
in
pieces
the future.
and potentially upgrade pieces, being
Upgrade.
able
Yeah,
to switch out. It's like, oh well, why use this crunchy aluminum with crumple zones that's designed for safety
I got you.
when instead we can replace it with tank steel and
Right.
or I don't know, maybe you'll be able to get an old school Volvo or something and just start with something made of tank steel. It's like, yes, I just need to get some fuel in this every now and then, and it's a zombie destroying machine.
Right.
Those things are like some of those old Volvos were just a beast of a vehicle. The person inside's gonna get rattled if you're in an accident, but the vehicle itself is gonna be just fine.
For
So,
sure. Yeah. Not
yeah.
to get too off topic, but it make it so you can tame wolves. Is that something that's real that they're trying to do?
Tame wolves?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's something that's been talked about. It'd be, whether, and I'm gonna have to ask them because I keep forgetting if it's truly story bricks or
Ooh.
if it's a similar AI system that they're using. But I could imagine something where you'd be able to, put out a piece of meat when you see a wolf coming nearby, and instead of it charging at you, it goes for the piece of meat and then kind of goes
Right.
away. And if you do that, it's not story bricks. Okay, well, it's got to be something awesome because it seems like it's got a very similar sort of style and scale to it. But that wolf could that or I guess maybe a different one could potentially come back another day and throw out some more meat and eats more. Maybe a couple of them come by. I don't know. It might be something where they start to either come in larger numbers or just I don't know. Maybe you get one trapped and then you just start feeding it and then eventually you start trying to let it out or something.
Right.
I think it just still rampage on you. I have to pick one: tame wolves or tame and ride horses. Eh, yeah, horses or I don't know. Would a large deer be big enough to ride? Uh, I don't know. I don't know if riding a deer would be a good idea. I'm pretty sure Sony Shock would just take it down because he's apparently quite a seasoned hunter. He's been practicing.
Nice. For that question, I would definitely want the wolf because you're going to be riding around on your horse, and it's going to get eaten the first time you get off of it, no matter what.
I think
You
being
go
on
into a
a
house, it gets eaten.
bicycle and having a wolf following along with you,
Yes.
that would work pretty
Yes.
well. Because before you
Or
even
a skateboard and
dismount
have it
to
pulling you.
deal with something, your wolf is going forward and chewing on their faces.
Yes, yes, for sure.
And I wonder if you get your wolf to chew on people's faces, do you even have to feed it, or is it already fed and it just kind of hangs out with you?
Well, I think that you probably have to feed it to like at first, so it trusts you and it knows that you're going to lead it to food. Yeah. Say, here's food, here's food, here's food. Now go eat food.
Shooting
Right?
birds earlier. Not all of us have skills. Yeah. And speaking of food, yeah, birds are going to be another source of food.
Yeah.
Yeah, shotguns seem like it's pretty effective for hunting birds. Shotgun's no joke. They're not going to be a, you hit me from 10 meters. I only took 5% damage from it. Ha ha ha. Shotguns are going to be potent up to 50, 80, maybe 100 meters. I think PlanetSide 180 was the max range for your shotgun to actually be effective, and that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
I
like John. I like John M81. But can my wolf ride in the seat next to me, Mad Max style?
Yes. Awesome.
It has to. Cycle McHurts, Steve George, make this happen. Somebody make this happen.
NPC time to last face eaten. Good to know. Yes, that would be a great feature for keeping your pets under control. The mountain
Lawless,
lions.
we will play the game as soon as we're able to.
I'm sure there'll be mountain lions eventually. Like, who wouldn't want to have mountain lions? They're awesome. They'll just, bite your neck and then... Actually, no, first they'll pin you down, then they'll bite your neck, and then you just keep on chewing on your neck until you're dead.
Well, if they're true-to-life mountain lions, a lot of people will never see them in-game. But the ones that will do will be sorry.
Yeah. Bears, yes, bears are badass.
Yes, they are.
They are basically raid bosses. Nothing more on the whiteboard. Don't give Steve any more ideas.
Steve, wolves and vehicles.
Teach a wolf to drive. That would be a good one. Or teach it to sing.
To sing?
Yes. Yeah, why not? Do a duet with your...
Because why not?
Why not? Role-playing is the best part of these sorts of games.
Oh, this is why people keep asking this.
Huh.
Because it says you're playing H1Z1 on SOE Live 2014. That's why they keep asking when we're going to start playing.
Oh.
You troll.
Yeah, I guess I am. I know. I should probably do something about that, shouldn't I? Sitting here wearing my corporate SOE shirt. Yeah. Yeah, no. I'll play it as soon as I can. Hey, Shaker! How's it going?
Yes.
Okay, so locking was brought up. So when you are the driver of a vehicle,
Yes.
you have control over who can come in the vehicle and who can't. You can lock the doors, you can unlock the doors, and I think you might even be able to kick people out. So that's awesome.
This is totally awesome.
But
I was very excited when I heard about that.
But that's only a very basic sort of thing. So you broke into the car, you hijacked, you hotwired it, and you're able to use the locks because you've got it going. But when you get out of the vehicle, you don't own the keys to it, so you can't really lock it.
Yet.
It's kind of a challenge. So it's either something where you're going to have to be able to change out the locks or actually be able to find keys somewhere near where the vehicle is at. And that could be the most trolliness thing, is for somebody just to be a keys collector. And, because it's not just going to be generic car keys. And I actually, I don't know, with the remote car lock-unlock things that are on the keychains, if those can be modified in such a way that you can unlock somebody else's car with it of the same make and model.
It's most definitely possible.
Here, Hammer, boot people out of the car while driving. Yeah, tuck and roll.
I would say probably not on that one.
If you can kick them out, it would probably just leave them straight out with zero velocity. I don't think it would
Right.
do a using it with the momentum of the vehicle. And then there's a question there: is there going to be prisons, airports, hospitals already in there? Yes, yes, yes. They might not be in at day one. Prisons, probably more likely. Hospitals, probably more likely. Airports, wait a little ways down the road. That's a lot of infrastructure to have, and I'm sure they want to have some really, really powerful zombies before they actually open something like that up, because it's
Yeah.
not a place where I think they want people to really hang out and set up shop unless they come with a lot of firepower.
Mhm.
A lot. And they're ready for a big, long battle.
Yeah, because if you get to somewhere like an airport, you're gonna have crazy amounts of fuel supplies. Like you're gonna have a lot of things that you're gonna need. So if you can actually take over that airport, you're set for a bit.
Yep, food and the concession stands and the vending machines.
Exactly.
And yeah. Lots of materials, too. You can make all sorts of, makeshift defenses and forts and stuff like that with stuff you can just kind
Hmm.
of pull out of walls and such.
Well, if we're taking it straight from warm bodies, you just take up shop in an airplane.
Yep. There you go.
And yes, that's a movie that I've seen. I have a wife.
Let's see here.
Speaking
Steve
of
putting
vehicles
on
and
makeup.
airports, Neuro or Cycle McHurts or Steve George, do you think that there's going to be air travel in some sort in the game at any time, or travel by water or things like that?
I think travel by water is a lot more likely. Right now, they don't
Yeah.
even have depth of water in, but once they do,
Right.
the idea of
Right.
boats, I think, will be a lot more possible.
Hmm.
And this isn't like Planetside 2, instant death water, except in a couple of specific places. So, I'm sure there will be deadly things, the bog zombies, which I'm sure are going to be like just the grossest things, and they'll actually be kind of
Yeah.
tough to kill, too. Um, yes,
They'll be
Clegg
halfway
sandwiches,
melted.
no, with extra H1Z1 sauce, oh no. That's got to be okay. All the various food items that are going to be in H1Z1, you guys have to have those at one of the meals at SOE Live next year. So no matter what, it's an H1Z1 themed meal, and everybody's just like, oh, what are Clegg sandwiches? Pulled pork coleslaw and ketchup. What the hell? No, I hope that they wouldn't actually do that. But
Yes. Well, Zenticus, I think that air travel is obviously possible, but are they going to do it is a different question. Because it makes sense in PlanetSide 2, but it doesn't necessarily make sense in H1Z1 to have people flying around the world and bombing people and such.
H1Z1 hot sauce. All right, H1Z1 Jane, you make the bottle. You design it. It will be a thing. I think that's how things work, at least. Um. So yeah, locking.
Hot
Locking.
1Z1.
Hot one Z1.
I love it.
There you go. I don't know. I think A1Z1 as a steak sauce would be more
Oh,
A1Z1. You guys like that?
yeah. I like that. Yeah. I could see
Yeah,
both,
yeah,
actually.
Cycles McHurts. You know me. That's right. Now you know too. I love Tabasco. Yeah, A1Z1. I think that's the stuff.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, they do sell them that big. Okay.
Let's see, John's idea. If there is aircraft, maybe one per server, very, very rare, and not like a jet and not something that has guns mounted to it and such. So if they do have it, make it so it's not going to be accessible really to most people.
Yeah, I mean, hang gliders I think are going to be the most accessible form of flight we're going to have, and anything beyond that is probably going to be pretty minimal. It's probably going to take a lot of infrastructure to own and maintain and upkeep one of those. And then the skill to actually fly one, unless they give us, like I had been talking about, basically an arcade zombie slaughterfest server where we're starting in a military base and everything's available to us, so we can just kind of learn everything. I don't think, planes would be a good idea because, 4 years of PlanetSide 2 and Adam Clegg still could never even figure out how to fly a Galaxy. So, there is a learning curve with planes. I'm not joking. That guy is like I think the last time I saw him land a Galaxy, he thought it was acceptable to hit a landing pad going vertically straight down at 30 kph. No, no.
Oh,
like he was slowing down. By the time he touched it, he was at 30 kph. He came in hot on that thing. It's like, you can't do that, you goofball.
Oh, funny.
No.
And you say oh jeez, hang gliders.
Yeah.
What about hot air balloons? Because that could essentially be something that you could craft.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it would take a lot of fuel, obviously, but
it would take a lot of fuel. I think the resources and the materials to be able to actually make one, it seems like it'd be a difficult sort of DIY sort of thing. I don't know. I haven't actually looked into it. It actually might be really easy. Or it might be the sort of thing where it's easy to have something that goes up and down, but then where you actually fly to, I don't know how much actual control of flight you have with a hot air balloon, to be perfectly honest.
Right.
So
you gotta you're controlled by the wind, I think, right?
A little bit. So I think it's going to be mostly, if you're going up for one of those, you're just kind of, holding on for dear life that it doesn't, you don't get wrecked on the landing for one thing, and then for another thing, you also have enough fuel, and the thing doesn't just take you right into a big old pile of zombies. But at the same time, that might be one of the few rare ways that, or potentially really long ladders, to actually get on top of large buildings, because not every building's going to have roof access, but I'm sure they're going to have the collision set that if you actually do get up there, you'd be able to do something with that space.
Right. That's a good point, because that's going to be an amazing place to be if someone's able to do that.
Getting up places where a zombie simply cannot get is, really powerful. Because I don't think they're gonna, rampage and just punch down the walls of the building or whatever. And I'm talking about the arcade game Rampage from the 80s. Do you remember that one? Where you play Godzilla or King Kong or whatever. And
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't think they actually get to. There might be some climbing zombies, but being able to take a ladder, getting up on top of one of those, and then pulling the ladder up, that'd be really powerful. Like a ladder becomes a very powerful tool in the survival in the future.
Yeah, Rampage on SNES too.
Yep. It made its rounds. I had it for I think DOS.
Yeah.
Ultralight aircraft. Yeah, maybe. If you find a box with one.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, it's like an airdrop that has an ultralight aircraft, but then it'd be the process of being able to build the entire thing at a place where you'd be able to safely take it off from and not get jumped along the way, not get it destroyed along the way. Tire links, yes.
Nice.
Yes.
So So Zeneca says a blimp would get shot down easily, and that's probably true. But why would you want to shoot down a balloon when you could just follow it to its landing point and try to kill the owner? So then you own the balloon.
Because it's you and your buddies have a fun time taking pot shots with your 50 cal rifles.
Well, I guess if it's a buddy, you could get trolled for sure.
Yeah.
But that's going to be anything when someone trusts you to not be a jerk, and you are.
I mean, that's the sort of thing I could see happening to someone, that they get, tied up and handcuffed and thrown in a hot air balloon, and it gets sent up, and it's like, all right, the timer's set. After 1 minute, wherever you're at, we're just going to start shooting.
Okay,
we're not going to move from this position. Let's hope the wind takes you far. Otherwise, you're screwed.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, that's the sort of stuff, that's the role-playing sort of stuff I could see. Actually, yeah, I think the hot air balloon would actually be a really awesome sort of thing to have. That would be pretty amazing.
Yeah, that sounds really fun.
So, ramming zombies. It was talked about a little bit. Are they going to roll up on the windshield? Are they going to break the windshield? Is it going to damage the vehicle? Currently, the vehicle doesn't sustain damage when you ram stuff because they just don't have vehicle damage set up yet. That's a big system to put in, fine-tune. I think there's probably going to be some sort of a vehicle deformation system going into it too, which would make sense because it sucks to have things that don't look all beaten up and banged up when you are clearly hitting them from those angles. I like stuff to have more of the fidelity of like the Grand Theft Auto games, for example, where if it gets hit in an area, that area gets bumped and damaged.
Right. Yeah, and I think they said that at some point that's going to go in where things do begin to get damaged. But I think that he also said that the breaking the windshield thing might never happen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and it's something that they don't necessarily have to have. It depends whether or not the glass can be penetrated by bullets or not. That's right. There's a lot to have to decide on there, and it'd be an entirely new system to have to add to vehicles that they hadn't had to deal with before in PlanetSide 2.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be amazing if someone had lowered the integrity of your windshield because they shot through it a few times? You get a zombie, you go on a zombie killing spree. One comes up, hits the windshield, breaks through, and kills you, and like bites you and kills you. Like, well, should have picked a different way to try to kill that zombie.
That could be pretty funny. I remember. Awesome. It was maybe about 15 years ago at this point. There's this story in the newspaper, in the News of the Weird, about a like some police officer, sheriff or something, who was driving the van and wasn't watching what he was doing, and he hit a cow, and the glass shattered. A big old pile of poo from the cow was flung with centrifugal force onto his uniform, and the vehicle, obviously he stopped. He didn't want to hit it, and and it actually just got up and kind of walked away. It actually really wasn't hurt at all. Yeah. So cows 1, vehicle 0. Poop.
Yeah, a cow's big, man.
Yes.
I mean, you can hit a cow, a bear, things like that. It's not going to kill it necessarily, but it might
piss
kill
it off.
Yeah.
I've been trying to ask.
Yeah, if the collision doesn't kill you, the bear will, or whatever you hit.
Well, I've been trying to get them to do a vehicle versus bear collision test. I've been asking for it for a while. I wanted to do it at SOE Live. I wanted to do it at Game 24. At this point, like, I'm looking to hopefully find some time that I can hit up SOE sometime in the next couple of weeks, because I kind of want to get on that workshop show, and I'd love to get in some more H1Z1 gameplay, so gotta find some time to get over there again. But that's something I want to do. I want to get in that vehicle. I want to find a bear. I want to honk my horn 2 times at it, flash my brights at it, and then once it realizes what's going on, rev that thing up, back it up a little bit maybe actually to give myself a little bit more momentum, and see who wins. But it's not fair right now because I can't do that because the vehicle doesn't take damage, so or at least it doesn't take damage from collision. I guess maybe if the bear stops it, it's just going to start mauling the vehicle. Then I might be in trouble.
Yeah, then you probably won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So you better have ammo. And a lot of it.
No, vehicle only. It's vehicle versus the bear. That's the challenge. Yeah, PC first.
Yep.
It's
only going to be $20 for early access.
See us on camera shortly. Very cool. So, all right. Whoops. Well, you folks will see that in a moment. Actually, I'll probably have to make the window disappear for a moment when we switch things over and get them on. I'll get the names up right now. So they'll be joining us in a little bit here. D-Corps, are you talking about when the devs are going to be on here or early access? Because it says most definitely in very clear, readable, non-blindingly horrible green, blue text down below. There is no date for early access. It used to be horrible green text, and I think that was driving most of the viewers away. So, yeah. Sorry, folks. Let's see. RP, but PvP. I mean, every server is going to be an RP server.
Most definitely.
If I think an RP enforce sort of thing is basically just if you and your buddies are going to enforce RP, if somebody's not role playing, they're just running around shooting people, you talk to them and they don't respond. Yeah, okay, they're not role playing. So it is role playing of you folks to kill them, because that's what you do with weird outsiders that you're guessing have just gone rabid or whatever.
Right.
It's like, is he infected with the zombie virus? No. He's got rabies. Just shoot him.
Right. Exactly.
Clearly, he's just foaming at the mouth.
Slaughter says, I wonder if it will be possible to run an RP server without any admins enforcing rules. I think that's probably going to be most servers. There's not going to be that many rules, yeah? I mean, we're a survival game.
Yeah. I mean, the game by nature kind of enforces that you're role-playing. There's almost no way not to. It's the sort of game that's almost impossible to be a min-maxer, because there isn't necessarily having the best stuff so much as, having the stuff in the situation where you need it, as well as having the people being able to help you. You might have the most well-armed person in the game, and you might be able to take down 10 people like it's nothing, but if 15 people rush you with hatchets, then you're dead, and then they have that gear, and if all they've got is hatchets, they're probably not too married to what they've got anyway, so it's probably not that big of a problem.
Right.
Taco
Justy, you're watching two beautiful people, awaiting two other beautiful people to talk about one beautiful game. That's it.
Indeed. Indeed. So we talked about a whole lot of various different subjects here in kind of covering the vehicle video here. Thanks, HVX Joker. Now, beards are an interesting subject, and this has been talked about. You can have like a 5 o'clock shadow, and that's not too bad, because that's just simple kind of deformation on the model of the character on the face. But to actually have a full beard like this, and to have long flowing hair in H1Z1, That's definitely something that's going to wait until a little bit later down the road. And the reason why is that if you're going to have a beard, it's essentially another model that has to be rigged. So
Right.
it's got to, it's animated. It's, got to stay on your face. It's got to be able to flex and, all of that stuff. And, as your head moves, it has to move with it. And as your body moves, everything has to look right with it. And then, depending on the beard, that might have other effects, like, the whole, if you can look down and your beard folds upward, like mine does, it's the Fidel Castro test. That's a serious beard at that point. So I'm going to make, let's see, I can make.
And we talked
this
about
window
beards
disappear.
before, how it would be cool if they started to grow. Like the way you could tell if someone had been alive for a long time was if they had long scraggly hair with long scraggly beard. The longer the hair and beard, the longer the person has been alive.
Yeah. And I thought,
that would-
I think that'd be a great way, and it'd be, that'd be a nice later feature to add. It's definitely not something that is needed even to be able to release the game.
No, not at all.
All right.
So if we look like neurotoxin, then we're doing pretty good in H1Z1.
Indeed. All right. Adding them to the call.
Hello?
Hey guys.
Can you see us and hear us?
Hey,
Yes, we can see you and we can hear you. Hello,
Guess what?
everybody.
Guess what?
There's a whole bunch of people there.
Maybe. Yeah, we brought you more than you asked for. That's how we typically roll.
That's awesome. I'm not sure how well we're going to be able to hear you because you're kind of far away from the mic, I think. Here, do a little audio test.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, we can. Well, it's kind of faint. Can
you're
you?
just gonna have to
Let me
yell.
adjust. Let me just adjust. Hold on. Microphone
Okey-dokey.
volume. Skype is built for this, right?
I thought so.
Let's take it all the way up. How is that? Is that too loud?
No, not at all.
Is that better?
It's better.
Hey,
It's
can you
better.
hear me in the back here? Hello?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can hear you.
we'll just
Alright,
have
we're good then.
we'll just have to make sure that we're quiet so that everybody can hear you folks when
Yes.
we're not talking. So, Steve, I'm just gonna put you on the spot. I only put 2 names here. There's definitely more folks than that.
Put me on the spot. Put that camera.
I'm gonna put you on the spot here to introduce everybody.
Oh, Mitch, take that seat there. These are screwed up.
All right,
It
I'll
took
have
long.
to
We'll
move it
cut this side off. Move it. It's barely. What's up, dude?
I was saying if you could introduce everybody here because this is a big audience here.
Just let everybody introduce themselves. So I'm Steve George. I'm the producer on H1Z1.
Hi, I'm Tom Shank. I'm technical director at H1Z1.
I'm Ruby. I'm an environment artist.
Hi, Mitch Evans, senior programmer.
Troll.
Adam Clay, level designer.
Dude, you look so asleep from here.
This is the dead feature rant. I'm hanging out.
Yeah, I know. You're chilling. It's all good. It's all good. Just from my perspective, from where I'm able to see you here, it totally looks like you're just.
I'm way at the back.
He's really good at that, by the way.
We actually caught
Yeah.
him.
He's a
sleeping
chill
on his
guy.
Lunch break.
That's the thing. Chug is a chill fella. Like the only time I ever see him get riled up is when he's excited about stuff, and then sometimes he's even being sarcastic about it. It's funny as hell.
So we've got one more, you guys.
Yep.
Hey, I'm Carson. I'm an environment artist.
Awesome. And there's a hand reaching after Clay. What the hell is that?
Introduce yourself. We got one more joining us.
Hello.
Awesome.
Introduce yourself to the group.
I am James Chin. I am an associate game designer, and I am currently working on mostly NPC AI behaviors.
I was about to say I want your job, but then I realized, whoa, AI. The last time I made AI, it looked like a bad NES game when the platform was all said and done. So I
I believe for that is artificial stupidity.
Yeah. Oh no, it was pretty really stupid. Like, I mean, it was.
Sorry, to correct myself. I'm currently working on NPC AS behaviors.
Ah, gotcha.
Artificial stupidity behaviors.
Indeed,
Hey,
indeed.
yeah, another one. Come on, Dave. Probably there. One of those seats over there.
Yeah.
If, a bad NES game in the right year was probably a good game.
That's pretty much gold. Yes.
Yeah, but this was a bad Flash game in the Flash is already a dying beast year, so yeah. Sorry. Oh man, so I kind of thought I was going to maybe ask a few focused questions about a few different things, but it's just a party up in here now, so this is
Testing your improvisational skills. That's what we're doing.
so one of the things that I had been asking about, it's Storybricks is not the AI system that we're seeing in H1Z1, but the last time I can think of that SOE had their hands on designing an AI system, I think was DCUO, or at least of products that are still around. I'm really curious. What was that?
Actually, no. Free Realms.
Yeah, Free Realms was big on
Oh
the
yeah, that's right. That's right. I couldn't remember if Free Realm started before DCUO, but yeah, I guess both of them definitely. But that's something I've been curious about, is since this isn't Storybricks, what are we going to be able to see that we haven't seen in the past from this AI system? What kind of new lovely stuff are we going to be able to get out of it this time around?
Well, we're talking about things like, seasonal behavior, daily behaviors, dead paths. So the zombies kind of have this vestigial idea that, they go back to the town that they came from, kind of thing. A lot of just different behaviors that you wouldn't see in normal MMOs.
They're also going to be like eating corpses. The birds are going to be eating corpses and maybe attacking players eventually. I don't know.
But you'll see a lot of things in the game. The AI is going to kind of tell you what's going on as well. Like the birds, when you see the birds circling, you'll know there's a dead body around, for instance, right? When you see the deer scattering, you know there's something coming after them. That kind of thing.
Yeah. And this is more than just like a parlor trick of like, oh yeah, when this event happens, this other event will happen. When this event happens, this other event could happen. It's more that it's an ecosystem, and these are just consequences for the results of things acting upon their various different needs, which is why I was so confused that it wasn't Storybricks, because so much of Storybricks is the character in the world trying to satisfy their needs, but I can see it being a completely different scope and scale with the that sort of thing, where it's like a heavily itemized and lore based sort of thing, versus H1Z1. There isn't any legendary taco slaying sword of the magic wizard, that doesn't exist in H1Z1. There aren't legendary items, there aren't special sorts of things. The most legendary thing there's going to be is having a having a vehicle and having a fully automatic assault rifle, having body armor, and a place that you can call home that's well fortified. That's about the best you can get, and anybody can potentially have that if they work hard enough and don't die. So that's I'm really excited to see what kind of stuff we're going to be able to see from this this AI system, and also how it interacts with the world. I keep on joking about how a waist-high rail is the most tactically relevant thing in the game, because, and yeah, you're laughing there. You've seen me do it, where there's just you jump over the rail and they all run around after you, and then you jump over the rail and then they all run back around after you. It's just back and forth. You can kite them or whatever, and pick them off with arrows, or have your buddies finally come through and take care of them. But I don't believe that's going to be a permanent situation. It seems like the AI is actually going to be upgraded. Maybe some zombies try to run around, other ones would maybe try to climb over, and other ones maybe try to just kick it over. Is that the sort of stuff that we're potentially going to be seeing in the game? Is more advanced use of the terrain, more advanced problem solving from zombies, as well as the animals in the world?
Actually, I think it's kind of less problem solving, to be honest, because you're talking about, I see you, I don't care about this thing in front of me, I can't get anywhere, right? So I run into this thing continuously forever, right? That's
Yeah, I think Walking Dead when they're just running into the fence or just whatever they tend to just.
You are dealing with zombies, so they're not supposed to be highly intelligent. At least the ones that we have currently. If we have like a different strain of the H1Z1 virus that makes a more intelligent zombie down the road, then we can look at more advanced behavior AI. But the initial zombies are pretty dumb as far as like figuring out how to get to you. But they know they will take a path to get to you. But it's not going to be this advanced thing where they're hopping over fences, getting in cars, and driving towards you.
No zombie parkour.
Yeah, no
Okay.
zombie.
Cool.
Will all zombies have this? Will all zombies have the same mindset? So, if a zombie sees, the best path to take, are all 10 zombies that are chasing you going to take that exact same path, or are some zombies going to go around the other way? Are some zombies going to stay there and wait for you?
There's going to be some variance in it.
Yeah, they have some vestigial information they keep within them. We were talking about this today a little bit, actually, about what kind of information they keep in their simulation that kind of varies the behavior based on what's happened recently. So if they've eaten recently, they might act slightly differently.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be pretty neat, and especially I could see the different types of zombies having different motivations and how much they act upon that versus how much they're just acting on pure survival instinct. So getting a lot of different variations from them seems like it'd be pretty cool. Something that came up a little bit earlier in the show that I was wondering about: ladders. Will we be able to build ladders? We'll be able to carry around ladders, put them up in places, get up on top of roofs that we would otherwise not be able to access. Is that the sort of thing that will be possible, or is that something that kind of becomes maybe a little bit too overpowered?
Well, not at early access. We're not going to have ladders because we just don't have any of it made or the animations done for them. But when we do add ladders to the game, it's going to be we want to do it like Left 4 Dead style, where you can kind of craft a ladder and then like place it somewhere, and then you can go up to it, and then you can like place it on the ground and use it as a bridge to walk across. Like that's what we're thinking and talking about when we're talking about ladders. Not just ladders that are in the world, like on a wall that you can climb up. Those will be there too. But like actually crafting a ladder that you can use as an object to then place on stuff.
Think about climbing in
That's
general too, like
great.
climbing a fence or something like that. It's all encompassed in the climbing mechanic when it comes online.
Cool. Is it going to
really
be the same climbing animation for a fence versus a ladder, or is it going to be a little bit varied? Because a chain link fence is a little bit tougher. It's you got to be able to get your foot in the grooves and your fingers kind of get caught and stuff.
Same animation, and probably won't match up anything, to be honest, but we'll see.
Okay.
Importantly, be able to climb first, right? Then the aesthetics later.
Yeah.
I mean, like AAA console games don't even have that level of detail of climbing animations, so it's going to be hard to get that in an MMO when it comes to that specific type of an animation versus another one.
That's fair. That's completely reasonable. And I would imagine, the amount of work that would go into that sort of animation versus doing a different animation for something that isn't complete yet, at this point, it's probably a much better use of the time. And, if years down the road everybody's screaming, no, make them climb ladders like this and make them climb fences like this, then, eventually maybe if you feel like doing something about it. I highly doubt climbing, I'm pretty sure everyone's just going to be happy that there's climbing. I will be.
Yeah. Yep.
The most climbing in PlanetSide 2 was done with the energy beams, so it was...
Teleport? Oh, that won't work. Sorry.
What was that?
No, Nan,
I say we should use the teleporters too. That's a quick solution. I'm kidding.
Just what are you trying to do to this game?
gravity flingers.
Gravity.
Yeah, Kremchek. Nice hat, by the way, buddy.
I do want one of those big circus cannons that you fire the stuntman out of or whatever. That'd be a lot of fun. Pack a zombie in there and then launch it over a wall.
Powder, go up to a circus cannon, get in there, that'd be amazing.
Little zombie confetti poppers.
We have
Yes.
talked about the zombie catapults, and we've created a few unintentionally already that are kind of hilarious.
That's awesome. I mean, I could.
Just make a three-ring circus.
One of the things that came up was, we talked about this being a playground for zombies. How you can creatively kill zombies in this game. And there's a lot of ways I can think of to kill zombies. So.
I mean, I know I've seen a lot of people recommend rake with a hatchet. So a garden rake that they step on it and then it comes up and then a hatchet chops them in the face. That's
nice.
I definitely would love to see that as a.
Probably you would want to use a spike instead, because with that type of trap, I'm not sure how deep a hatchet will penetrate. And you need to be sure to destroy the brain.
Dead feature in
You know,
on Twitch.
that's
Want to hang up?
that's a good point about the spike actually, and I think having the
Yeah.
spike cause it to stick in, so it'll be hindered. The mobility will be hindered by it.
Mhm.
I see Zombouche. Yeah, I had talked about that one too. I don't know if a trebuchet is good for launching fleshy things with ragdolliness. Oh no! Dog cannon!
That is too cute.
This is my
Awesome.
dog,
Well, that's a
Millie.
tiny dog. Oh, wow.
No, she just looks that way on TV. That's Smith, by the way, if you can't see his face.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was looking. It's like, wait, that's a tiny dog and a big person. So.
Hey, wait a minute. Let's sit him down. Unless you're asleep.
Good times.
Exactly like this.
So-
Out there.
Oh man.
I know SOE is a very dog-friendly office. I know the PlanetSide 2 team, it was like, I think 5-to-1 or 10-to-1, the ratio of developers to dogs. How is it with the...
Look at the stains on our carpet. You can tell.
What was that?
Look at all the stains on our carpet. We're very dog friendly.
I can't really see.
Oh, no, I'm kidding.
Is there any questions from the chat at all you want to get to?
Let's see. Oh, whoops! My just as you said that, my chat decided to crash. So, whoops.
One question that I saw a while ago that they wanted us to ask was about the ability to shoot through windows, shoot through windows in your vehicle.
We definitely want to do something like that. We're not sure about all the terminal ballistics we want to model. Whether we want to go through pieces of wood and glass and everything else, or exactly how it's going to work. We haven't decided every bit of that, but we definitely want to make it so you're not invincible when you're in a vehicle.
Yeah, we know that players that play this type of game definitely want to be able to shoot people out of cars.
Yeah.
So we're aware of it. It's just when we want to get to it, when's the right time.
I gotcha.
Great.
We just have Michael Bay cars.
What?
Well,
Everything
yeah.
explodes?
Yeah, the cars explode, which we'll tune that down too. They're not just going to explode instantly like that.
Shoot it once and it explodes.
Yeah. Explode.
Yeah.
Another one that we talked about earlier, another question was, in the pickup truck, are we going to just have the two-seater, or are we going to be able to have some people riding in the back?
So here's the deal with the truck. We want it to be a 6-man vehicle.
Yes.
2 sitting on the wheel wells, 2 sitting with their back against the window and the bed,
Nice.
and 2 in the front seat.
Perfect.
That's the plan.
Nice. That'll be pretty cool then. That'll
Yeah.
be able to pack a lot of people in there and
I mean, eventually we want to do lots of cool stuff with vehicles, right? Like once we get the like we have the we have the off-roader, the truck, and then the bicycle, and we're also working on a police car. But once you get something like a police car, you can cut and paste and put a lot of like 4-wheeled sedans in. And we'll want to create a bunch of things like a taxi cab, a police car, things like that.
What? I'm sorry. Did someone just say early access next week?
Joking.
That's Metro.
But like maybe even one day, even having maybe like one bus on the server, and then if somebody can get the bus working, how fun would that
Nice.
be? Just maybe hold a bunch of people in it.
Yeah. Bus is pretty.
So with the police car, are you going to be able to lock people in the back seats?
That'd be a good idea. That would probably it just works the way the other vehicles work right now, but we haven't
Yeah.
added any emissions on it yet.
Gotcha.
Sirens to
Do you have your
jump.
jetpack, Neural?
I was going to ask about with trucks. Is there going to be potentially like different versions and variations, like a something where you've actually got a few seats like mounted and strapped to the back specifically, or even being able to put a like a machine gun in the back in like a really ideal situation, I guess.
I got a soft spot in my heart for the Subaru Brat, but other than that, I haven't thought about it.
What was that?
You haven't seen that thing?
Subaru Brat?
Oh, dude, you gotta look that one up. That's awesome.
A smart car and a pickup truck.
It had like two seats facing backwards on the outside in the bed, and had like ski things on the side. The whole lot. It was
Wow.
hilarious, dude.
Nice.
Check it out.
I will definitely have to check that out.
There's
We haven't killed him this stream.
send
Yeah.
them a Twitch.
I will die this stream eventually.
It just usually happens. Well, there's Wilhelm again. He just keeps dying and respawning. All right, so let's see. Was there anything else vehicle related, Kremchek, that you wanted to talk about, or actually, you folks on the other end there? Is there anything particularly related to vehicles that you want to talk about or reveal? There was one more thing that I did want to mention or ask about rather, and that was other customizations like being able to put on armor and some of the stuff I was talking about in the show, body armor and spikes, or putting a cow catcher on a big old truck, or other sorts of modifications. Stuff that will not only visually identify your vehicle from another one, but also something that can potentially be damaged, broken down, and replaced, rather than having the frame of the vehicle sustaining all of the damage and having to be replaced.
Sounds like a design question.
Well, it's really up to Chris Roberts in the end, because he's the one who deals with all the vehicles. So what would happen is, like, we would talk to him as like a team and tell him what we think we want to do, and then he kind of like makes it work. If he ends up deciding that that's not what he wants to do and does something else, and we test it and it just isn't fun, or that's not what we want, it's just nobody likes it, then we'll go and change it. But stuff like that, we don't really know yet. We're still tuning it, and we'll tune it up until after early access comes out.
Gotcha. A good question from Slaughter here.
Yeah.
Roberts actually talked about that on his dev spotlight recently. I think he mentioned something about that.
Yeah.
If the backup pickups is for players, can you lock them with the car, or is it always accessible?
Yeah. I would imagine right now it's just going to be the current, driver-centric system, but
Eventually, we want to be able to shoot people that are in the bed of the car. We don't allow them to shoot from the bed of the car. I think for the first pass, it's probably going to be you're in the car and you're driving.
Does it work on the ATV or the in plants?
I'm not sure.
You can jump on it.
You can't. We'll probably lock it where you can't just get in some other guy's pickup truck unless he unlocks it. I mean, that's what it does in Arma, and it just makes sense. When you have all the vehicles working the same way, then once one person knows how to drive one vehicle in your game, they know how to drive all your vehicles. So it's just better when you streamline the design that way, rather than trying to make it very confusing for each vehicle type when you're dealing with a lot of people coming in and playing.
I gotcha. Are your
Yes,
beanbags?
that chairs are leather.
Nice. Yeah, I do remember those. They are pretty awesome. The estimated time frame before you can give the games early access, people can ask that in so many different ways, and I think the last one we were given was October 50th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It will be this century. We know that for a fact.
I've been saying October
Was that Febtober?
Yeah, October 42nd, something like that. Actually, the most clever way somebody asked me was, if 1 was when you announced and 100 is early access, what number are you at right now?
Something in between those two.
Yeah.
Nice trolls, Zemeckis. No, you can't look under rocks. He trolled me in Armor the other day. He's like, pick up that rock and see what's underneath it. I told the click on it. He's like, no, you can't do that.
I do like the idea of being able to bury objects under other things. That's kind of neat, but I would imagine things just out in the world would kind of weather and degrade, or rocks probably wouldn't do that, but you know, something would probably kick it up.
You bribed SMED for early access. I think it involves at least 4 zeros, maybe 5.
Probably 5. I think 5.
My PayPal is
yeah. So, damn.
In all seriousness, we know a lot of you are very excited about the game, and we are working to try and get it to you as soon as we can. But we can't put a date on when that's going to be right now.
We want it in your hands more than you want it in your own hands. How's that?
Yeah, believe me, I know. I guess, what would you say are top 3 bottlenecks right now, or the top 3 things that are needing to be worked on and solidified before?
Hold on. While you're thinking of an answer, I see one there I can answer, which is the hacking thing. So we actually have some anti-cheat code we've been using in PlanetSide for a long time, and it's very effective. So I don't know, hackers are going to be dealing with the same problem.
So I used to throw Dave over here under the bus all the time with object persistence, but he actually got that working 100% now, so that's not stopping us anymore. It's definitely a lot of animations, and a lot of animations.
And we're not done with coding either.
And a lot of code and a lot of design. Level design.
So those are the top 3 things, right? The animation, the coding, and the level design?
Is that the most vague answer you've ever gotten? Seriously?
Well, I could see that. I could see animations being number 1. I guess maybe I'm relieved that there's coding before level design, because that means level design is maybe a little bit further along for the vertical slice that we're going to have for early access. But then again, I don't know. You guys are just kind of giving us some vague answers here. Just trying to read into it a little bit, but no, there's nothing to read into. There's a lot of stuff that everybody's got to do. It's a lot going on with the project there. We're waiting patiently.
Basically, what it boils down to is we're at that last 20%, and that's usually the longest haul of all, right? Because we're just dealing with lots of small issues that come up daily.
I've just got this one thing to do. I've just got these 5 things to do.
You know how
I've just got these 12 things to do.
You know how when you transfer a bunch of files from one folder to the other and it stays at 99% for a really long time?
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Ooh, okay. I get you.
Yeah. Basically, when animations are the number 1 bottleneck, that's good. When it's like code and systems, that's when it's bad. That's when the game's really far away.
Yeah, I mean, I guess usually when animations are being worked on, that means all the other systems are nice and tidy. Because if you're working on animations and everything else isn't tidy, then you might be making bad stuff that has to be completely redone, re-rigged, and IK being all off, and I don't even want to think about it. About it.
We just got it in as like a first pass, and we just got grappling in, looking good enough for us to be early access ready, except for like a couple bugs. But I mean, that was like the closest thing that we just got finished. That was something that we wanted in early access.
Yeah, I mean, it's not finished by any means, but it's definitely playable.
Yeah, we got permissions in where you can actually lock your door with a key lock, like a code combination.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we saw that on the live stream, I believe. That and the new the spray paint decals that looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think we did.
I don't think we showed up the locks. I think we just got the locks going.
Okay.
I guess
you talked about it a lot, but maybe I didn't. I don't remember if you actually.
Yeah, they talked about.
You talked about it a lot, though.
You actually go up to an item and it gives you a UI, the input code, and that's your lock mechanism. Then you can You can share that code with people.
It works just like the locks in a hotel.
A cheap hotel.
Cheap hotel. Okay. I was like, man, what hotel are you staying at, man?
I believe what you're
That's the ones that you
They
guys
charge
pay
by
for.
an hour? Is that the one you got?
Oh. All right. We got a question here. Are the loot containers the finalized system for finding loot?
No.
No, you find loot in containers, and you find loot in the world, and you find loot off other players, obviously,
Or on zombies.
or on zombies.
Yeah, we're just getting in this week. Being able to loot a zombie and whatever they're wearing is what you're actually going to be able to loot off of them.
Nice.
So, like, you see
Very
a
nice.
zombie wearing a helmet. When you kill him, you'll be able to loot the helmet.
Will the helmet sustain damage if you hit it and do that in the process of killing them, or if you hit them in the chest, will the helmet sustain damage?
Well, we have durability in the game, but I don't know if it's hooked up to that extent. But, I mean, that's a possibility. Right now, everything just kind of is the same right now.
It's not hooked up that deep yet, but it will be.
There you go.
Cool.
And
Yeah, that's
the loot we have now are what we call a framework. So you got a framework in place to hold things, and that's kind of the basic for the code part of it. Then design can get a hold of it, and we try and figure it from there.
gotcha. For me, like hit locations probably are a really big deal that I feel like aren't really touched on in enough games. Hit locations and also the method that you use for killing stuff. Like if I burn a zombie, if I kill it with a torch and I kill it with fire, I shouldn't be able to get a shirt off of it. That thing's torched. It's
Right.
cinders. It's scraps at that point. There's nothing left of it. Likewise, if I burn down a tree, I shouldn't expect to get any lumber from it. So
something in the head and he's wearing a helmet, it should be pretty damaged.
yeah, exactly. So I think if that's the sort of thing that we'll be looking forward to in H1Z1, that'll be a really exciting feature. Not maybe if it isn't necessarily in at early access, but later down the road, I think that would be a really awesome sort of thing, and it would make people really have to plan a lot better when they're attacking something that has an item that they want. You can't just burn it. You can't just
Right.
blow it up. If it's got a helmet, well, you got to take it down with something else. If you've got to be quiet, well, how many arrows is it going to take down that zombie? Another thing that I thinking about too, body armor, like some of the armors that exist, they're pretty tough when you shoot them and they're in perfect condition. But then the moment they've been hit and it's actually, the metal plates or ceramic plates or whatever have been damaged and shattered, the fibers in whatever vest it is have been broken, that specific location on that piece of equipment is basically useless defensively. I mean, it'll stop small arms, but it's not small arms, not an assault rifle at that point. But it's definitely lost durability at that position. Is that the sort of thing that we would actually be able to have, is varied hitboxes for different parts of the body, or is that a little too advanced for the game?
I don't think we'll be able to go to the extent of being able to replace individual ceramic plates in your vest. Individual hitboxes in parts of the body, potentially, right? I just don't know how many. That's really kind of a performance issue to some extent, because you got to break the guys up, and you got to go through and set all up for each of the rigs. And it could be a performance problem.
Well, like, we're never going to be like Arma 4, because when they make Arma, they make it from the ground up as an army simulator, right? We're making it as a survival game. So to get that level of depth army-wise is going to be kind of hard unless we fully change our focus of what we're trying to do. But I mean, it's a good idea. That doesn't mean we can't think about those things and add them into the game later. But it's just our main design focus is survival.
It would probably be okay to do like slot ablation, where if you get a durability of like 50% on your chest piece, then you take a little less damage than you or a little bit more damage than you would if you hit the chest and have full Kevlar vest, full durability Kevlar vest. But yeah, doing it to the extent that your front right ceramic plate is going on your vest is going to be, broken. It's not probably not going
To answer Cody's question regarding playing as a zombie, that conversation comes up quite often around here, and we all agree that we want to do it someday. I think it needs to be vetted properly before we commit to that sort of thing, and that will probably be that will be a post EA system if it comes out. But keep in mind, we do want to do that.
That can even be like a game mode itself if you want to just play as a zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. I would definitely love to see that sort of thing, actually. And I'm definitely one of the people that brings up the idea of, one way or another being able to play as a zombie, or even potentially being able to play as an animal. I think that would be another sort of fun sort of thing, trying to, troll around as a wolf, or you start as something like a rabbit, and then you just earn points for surviving, and eventually you earn your way up to a bear.
I kind of like the idea of less human models, and human models really suck for performance. So I'm good with that.
Yeah, as a deer, you can't have a bunch of cosmetics on you.
Exactly.
As a deer.
Well,
I don't know. I can dress with leaves and branches.
Rudolph.
Little helmet.
Red nose.
Deer helmet. Nice.
yeah, but at the same time, it'd be fun to be that one deer that kind of runs a little slow, and the person they're running up with a hatchet, thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna hunt it with a hatchet," and then it gets close enough, and then deer kick, 2 legs to the groin, and it's dead because a deer kicking you, and that's gonna kill you.
I did see a question go by about setting the scope distances. I'd like to do that actually at some point. I've talked to Jimmy about that extensively, about setting up your scope for ranges so you know what range your rifle's set at.
Yeah, that's really important because you kind of want to have a little bit of human error when you're shooting a sniper rifle, just so it's not show one shot, one kill all the time, because it never really feels good when you just die out of nowhere from a sniper rifle. But if you do die out of nowhere and you realize that guy had to guess exactly how far away he was from you and do all this setup before he nailed that perfect shot, you understand that was a highly skilled thing. It wasn't just like bad luck.
Yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely. So there's something that I've talked about on a few previous episodes that I definitely want to bring up, and it's the idea of not crafting, just standing there crafting with your hands, but needing a surface, maybe even a workspace designed for it with even specific tools, as well as containers that you can use to draw your materials from when you're crafting. And when I think about if I'm whether I'm cooking something or I'm putting together a chair from a kit, like this chair here, is a put together some assembly required sort of thing. So when I think of that sort of thing, I can't just do it like out in the open. I need a surface to work on. I need tools to work with, and for some things I need a very specific workspace. I can't just brew beer in my kitchen. Like I can brew a little bit, but I can't brew like big old 5-10 gallon batches. I have to use my burners out in my backyard. So I can't just I wouldn't expect to be able to brew a 10-gallon batch of hooch or whatever I'm making in H1Z1 starting in my some little ramshackle kitchen somewhere. So that's, I guess, throwing it over to you folks then. What would you think about that sort of thing, having both containers and surfaces as things that are required for certain forms of crafting?
Well,
Let
now,
me answer.
yeah.
We currently have support for that and do it, like with the furnace. We plan some more, like automotive repair stations and that sort of thing. So the support's in. It's just a matter of getting all the pieces in place, crafting behind it.
Well, yeah, I mean, if there's 1 or 2 machine shops in the world, that'd be great, but it'd also be a big point of contention. So we got to decide how much fun that's going to be overall. That's kind of a big part of that.
Yeah, you're talking about like advanced level crafting, right? It's not going to be something that players just do or figure out. This is going to be like high level, but it's definitely something that we want to put in the game and think about. I mean, we have to keep making crafting recipes as the game keeps, advancing. So
And repair recipes.
and repair recipes.
Oh,
and
yes.
things like that.
repair recipes are going to be important. That's something I haven't even thought about too much, but yeah, it's going to be a real big deal.
Yeah.
Good
And
stuff.
going along with that, something that we also talked about last week was the ability to stop crafting something in the middle and go back to that and keep your progress, because there are going to be times where you're going to be ambushed or something, and in reality, you know, you're just going to put it down on your workbench or put it in your backpack and run, and then just taking it back out and continuing the crafting process. Is that something that you're thinking about doing, or
I don't know that we-
possibly even making it so the crafting recipes or some crafting recipes take longer because you have the ability to do that?
All of the states like that is a pretty large storage debt and management for what happens when you get killed in the middle of your crafting. What state is it in? You know, what do we keep? What do we throw away?
Well, but currently we
Right.
do have the easy way of, you know, if you want to craft this item that takes these things that are all craftable items as well.
Right.
When you click here, it builds all the things up to that. And so you kind of subcombine. And if you stop in the middle of that, we could keep that. But each individual piece, I think, would not. That'd be kind of too much trouble. It'd probably be exploitable too, to be honest.
Maybe larger things as we get later on in like building foundations and larger houses and things like that. But that system is all prototype at the moment anyway, so we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, if it gets to a point where we're trying to like theoretically like build a bridge, or you're trying to build a house and it's like a process and it's like in a spot that you can place it, that's a little different. But currently it's more about everything that we're crafting right now is going to help you survive up to a certain level. So
Gotcha.
we're not about the scale yet, other than a deck foundation.
And there's no reason something like a bridge couldn't be built with our current socket system, where you build a piece at a time and then place it onto the bridge as you go.
Nice. Well, that'd be pretty cool. I guess the one other thing with that is you talked about like the furnace a little bit, but let's say I've got one box that's all of my metal scraps, one box that's all of my wood parts, one box that's all of my duct tape and glue and fasteners and such, and I want to craft something that uses all of them. Instead of having to draw items individually from each one of those to do the crafting, would it be possible to just have the boxes near me and just use the items as if they're, in my inventory because I've put them near and I'm, engaging in crafting?
That's a funny question. You
I
did well.
just finished area crafting today,
Yeah.
actually.
Mitch literally just finished a feature today, and I'll throw it over to him, but he can talk more about it.
Just to enable you being able to craft things from particles within a certain radius of your area.
Basically proximity, so you can throw things on the ground, and then the stuff that's on the ground around you, you can use to craft.
We're talking about making the containers be part of that, but that's a little bit exploitable, and you really don't want someone crafting stuff out of your container if they're just standing next to it. So we're talking about the container part of it a little bit more.
Gotcha. Well, I'm glad that you've got that as a feature. That's really, really awesome. There's literally only one other game I can think of that has that. It's a 2D sandbox called Hell Out of It. I've been trying to get Darren McPherson to play it because he's a big Terraria fan, but that's besides the point. I'm glad that you folks are going to have that in H1Z1 because to me, that's a next level feature that nobody really does, and it's
just a system right now. So we still need to vet how we're going to approach that properly without being exploitable, right?
Yeah,
Or just
So
maybe
there's some
play
things we're going to think about before we put that fully in place.
it's just know that we know it's there, and it's something that we want, which is good.
yeah.
We know we have a pretty good idea now of what players want from our game, and we're just trying to deliver that. So when early access comes out, it's a game that people have what they expect. When before we had a game that had stuff that you guys wanted, but we didn't even have what you expected yet.
Right.
So we didn't even have things that you weren't even asking for because you just expected them to already be. But now we're getting to that point where we have all the things that you expect, plus the things that you were like wanting, and that's what we're going to use.
Cool. So, Clegg sandwiches, are there barrels of pickles that we can access? Like big old 5-gallon buckets of pickles? Because that seems like it'd be something we'd be able to access for a while. And I know I've approached the question in a funny way, but the question is basically, are there large volumes of food product that we would be able to, instead of eating all of it at once, be able to go after it multiple times, or be able to eat a little and then hand it to a buddy and have them have some of it, or some way distribute, pickles to the masses or whatever?
I don't think we have anything right now that's like Costco-sized food, but that's a good question. That's something we can probably think about doing later on, where you can maybe farm, and if you farm enough resources, you can create a large piece of whatever that you use to then pick at multiple times.
Yeah, we don't currently have partial consumption of items either, where you take a bite of a candy bar and hand it to a friend. We've talked about it, but the architecture we have now would have to be expanded to support that.
Well, we have the well. Make it a pickle well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you go to a well, you can get water. So we need a pickle well and a sriracha well.
No, that's got to be the new sandwich. Adam Clegg's pickle well.
That sounds like a triple X movie.
You would be the expert there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Clegg's pickles. That's gonna happen.
We've got Mitch's.
Yeah, we have Mitch's meat. Might as well have Clegg's pickles.
Clegg's. No, it's gotta be Clegg's pickle well. It's gotta be a well filled with pickles, and like this backstory of this, old farmer or whatever that used to brine his pickles in the well or whatever. Yeah, that's right. We're actually getting pretty close to the end time here. We got a few minutes of buffer because we started a few minutes late, so that way we could hang out with you folks just a little bit longer here. So it has been awesome having you folks on here, and
Yes, it has.
it's an open invitation to everybody. You're all invited back on here whenever you want, individually, as a group. Make it a party. Awesome times. It's so much fun talking about H1Z1. I'm really, really excited for it. Everybody's excited for it. And it's something that we get some information here and there. We get the dev blogs and the dev spotlights every now and then. We get to see the new builds when they come through. We get to see the live streams here and there, and that's awesome. And we get to see the stuff that the works in progress. We absolutely love that stuff. We can't get enough of it. So anytime that you folks want to jump on, get your face on, get some opinions out there, yeah, come on. Just, you know where to find me.
Hey, Tenacious, to answer your question, the different water towers are mainly just for unique points of interest, so you can identify where you're at in the world.
Yeah, we actually ran into that. We were at SW Live. It was like, hey, I'm near the water tower. Oh, hey, I'm near the water tower. Oh, I can't see you. Oh, I'm at a different water tower.
Yeah, I experienced that.
Oh, I'm at the one with hope written on the side.
And you know what? Nah, never mind. Completely off topic. Okay, I'm going to say it anyway now that I've already distracted everybody. So the only reason why Disney got the giant water tower at the animation studio is because he wanted to one-up Warner Brothers, and I think it's like 1 foot taller or 10 feet taller or something like that.
Oh,
just to be like, in your face. You go with the water tower as your logo. Well, screw you. We got a bigger one. But yes, water towers, variation of water tower. Makes sense. I mean, landmarks and variations of them, and, different towns. It's the town that's got the 3 blue houses along the road versus the town that's got the 1 blue house in the police station versus, the one that's just covered in trash everywhere. And then someone pops out of the trash and shoots you because that's their hiding spot. All right. Enough shenanigans here. Let's wrap it up. So, everybody out there, thank you all for coming to join us for this monumental episode of H1Z1 Dead Feature Rant. We've got a whole bunch of amazing, awesome folks in here. Don't have enough time to give the proper goodbyes to everybody and say everybody's name, so definitely watch this show later and tell all your friends about it on YouTube. But we are getting on out of here. Kremchek on screen left has been joining us, and I'm Legendary Neurotoxin. This has been episode 23 of H1Z1 Dead Feature Rant, and we are out of here. See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.